That's true art. That's what you have to be. An artist. I've left my mark on the world. Have you?
We all love supermassive game standalone horror titles like The Quarry from this year and Until Dawn from 2015, but gamers are less enthusiastic about the developers' The Dark Pictures Anthology series. Man of Medan and Little Hope were uninteresting since they featured dull characters and uninteresting backstories for their enemies, but the third volume, House of Ashes, had a likable cast and some truly fascinating backstory. Players are excited to see what The Dark Pictures, The Devil in Me, the company's subsequent installment and Season 1 finale, has to offer after Supermassive finally found its footing with The Dark Pictures Anthology. Starting with introduction. The Devil in Me is introduced by Bandai Namco and Tom Heaton, the game director of Supermassive, who also discussed the influences for the next game and how it aimed to build upon the model. Each member of the primary cast has a more distinctive part to play in the overall dynamic of the group, which makes them all stand out. The backdrop of a murder home and the additional interactive gameplay elements, such as riddles and navigation, may make it the most captivating Dark Pictures title yet. Moving on to the cast. The cast of The Devil in Me quickly stands out in comparison to Supermassive's prior casts since each member of the group has a distinct part. They are not a collection of random individuals, such as a few teens attending a summer camp as in The Quarry or a group of buddies as in Man of Medan. They may all be distinguished from one another since they are each experts in a certain area of filmmaking. Kate Wilder, presenter of Architects of Horror, is the star of The Devil in Me and is portrayed by actress Jessie Buckley. Charlie Lonnet, the company's owner, Mark Nestor, Jamie Tierjian, the lighting specialist, and Aaron Kina, the audio intern, are among the other characters. Moving on to the storyline. H.H. Holmes, a real-life individual regarded as the America's first serial murderer, served as the inspiration for The Devil in Me. He is renowned for bringing his victims into a hotel full with traps before reportedly murdering them there. The hotel gained the nickname Murder Castle. Even if it's thought that most of the legends about his activities were made up, it would be a fantastic setting for a horror video game. The game centers around Lonnet Entertainment, the production firm behind the documentary series Architects of Horror. The production team is searching for a captivating location to film the H.H. Holmes-themed finale in order to spark interest. In light of the fact that The Devil in Me serves as the Season 1 conclusion of the Dark Pictures Anthology, this is also fascinating. A wealthy architect and collector named Grantham Dumet calls them and invites them to visit his home to look at a hotel that would be ideal for the documentary's climax. Unfortunately, they swiftly come to the conclusion that it is a nearly perfect replica of H.H. Holmes' Murder Castle and find themselves divided and facing certain death. The genuine fun of The Devil in Me begins here. Moving on to the gameplay. The Devil in Me's accessibility features won't be visible to users throughout the 10 minutes of gameplay. However, considering Supermassive's past performance, this may predict that they will be extensive, such as the ability to convert button mashing instructions into straightforward hold button ones and lengthen QuickTime event timing. The Devil in Me has the deadliest fatalities in the franchise to date, according to Supermassive Games. Mark and Jamie must decide who survives as both begin to lose their ability to breathe, as turning the switch in the center of the room only enables the oxygen to return to one cage. The other individual brutally suffocates while coughing up blood. This is a moment that will stick in the minds of the gamers until the next game launches, probably. Moving on to the mechanics. The Devil in Me, in contrast to other Dark Pictures games, has a brand new inventory system where players may select things to utilize. Additionally, each character has a special tool connected to their profession. Charlie, the CEO of Lonnet, for instance, carries around business cards that he may use to break open cabinets. Cameraman Mark can use his camera to capture images of the horrifying events taking on at the hotel in the meantime. Additionally, it may be destroyed, misplaced, or given to other characters, which adds another layer to the series' non-linear storyline and puts an interesting spin on a well-worn adventure game element. The Devil in Me introduces additional navigation techniques including scaling ladders, wobbling across ledges, and smashing boxes, as well as more challenging puzzles. The riddles give the player a sort of Resident Evil-like atmosphere that is missing from the more film-like Dark Pictures games. Heaton added, "You'll need to uncover codes buried or camouflaged in the world, untangle antiquated fuse boxes, and find your way out of mazes, but it's unclear if there was any type of time constraint to complete puzzles. Therefore, put your thinking cap on, because if you can't figure things out, people will die." The additional traversal options also improve on sequences that were previously limited to quick-time events in supermassive games' prior releases. These might seem unimportant given how common third-person action-adventure game features they already have, but they provide a lot of much-needed engagement and minute-to-minute suspense that this kind of game urgently needs. Moving on to the final part, conclusion. Compared to other Dark Pictures productions, which had more paranormal and mystic components, The Devil in Me appears to be a more realistic experience. It will stand out because of this more realistic approach, and it could even turn out to be the greatest and scariest game in the Dark Pictures Anthology thus far. Let's see where the Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me, goes when it eventually comes out on November 18th. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, then subscribe to the channel and like the video in order to see more gaming content like this in future. Comment down below what are your speculations about the upcoming game and what video do you need next. I'll see you all in the next video. Till then, bye bye.